Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chesstrovert and I'll be presenting you the finals of the Freestyle Grand Slam Tour 2025. Just wait for a few seconds because my OBS takes some time to record. There is some technical issue. That's why I think maybe my video is getting paused over here. I don't know, but just wait for a few seconds. I guess it will be okay by now. Yeah, I think it is okay by now. So let's start the finals. The finals is between Magnus Carlsen, world number one, and Levon Aronian. So let's start. Levon Aronian has the white pieces and he starts off the game with d4, f5, f3, e5, d takes e5, knight bc6, knight dc3, knight e6, e4, f takes e4, knight takes e4, pawn push to develop the bishop on the b7 diagonal. Bishop b7 played, castles, bishop out, pawn strikes the knight, takes with en passant, bishop takes back, queen comes out to support the pawn which is attacked twice with the bishop and the knight. This bishop is helping and this queen is also supporting it. Queen out, bishop comes out so that if the knight moves, then this bishop can capture the queen. Queen comes up, short long castles, and then king moves over. Rook comes to the center to attack the queen. Queen goes back. Rook takes on d6. Rook takes d6. Knight takes d6. Queen takes d6. Rook d1. Queen moves. Rook e1. The knight comes over to attack the bishop. Bishop goes towards the center. If the bishop had dropped back on this square, then the knight could have captured it. And this doubled pawns over here is not very good for white. That is why bishop moved towards d3 and not b3. Queen goes over to d7. Pawn attacks the knight. The knight goes back. As you can see, the position for white is looking really very great, and it is 3.2 plus 3.2. And Magnus is down on time. He has 55 seconds. He plays hurriedly, and his time is now 1 minute 13 seconds. He gives a check, and now the king moves. Knight goes back to attack the bishop. Bishop moves over to c4 and the rook comes to d8. The pawn strikes the knight, queen comes over, queen takes, rook gives a check, bishop c8, bishop takes on c7, king c7, knight b5 check, king goes to d7, knight takes on d4, king takes on e8, knight takes, knight goes to e4, and the king comes up. Pawn pushes forward, bishop goes back to e2, king d7, knight e5 check, king d6, knight c4 check, king c7, h4, h5, g5, bishop f5, bishop takes h5, bishop e6, bishop e2, knight g3, attacks the bishop. The bishop moves away. The knight moves to the h5 square, blocking the pawn. As you can see, it is a common principle in chess that knights are good blockaders of passed pawns. So these pawns over here, they are going towards this side, and this knight is doing a very good job of protecting this pawn from moving forward. But this pawn is right now not being blockaded, but later on Magnus has to try to do that. Let's see what he does. Knight comes over to support those pawns. Pawn push, king comes up, pawn takes. And now knight f4, king d4. And here Magnus resigned because these passed pawns are really very scary. And once they are traded off, one of those pawns will go up and become a queen. And Levon Aronian will win the match. So Magnus resigned in this position. Let's look at the second game. The second game starts off with f4, d5, g3, g6, e4, d takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight gf6, bishop g2, c5, knight d3, queen c7, knight f3, knight d6. All the knights are out. Queen e2, queen Now b6 is played. B6, the idea of b6 is just bishop b7, bishop b7 to put pressure on this diagonal. As you can see, this diagonal is looking very juicy. Knight goes to the center. Bishop b7, as I told, is being played. Bishop takes. Immediately bishop takes, because that the bishop was really very strong and it had to be removed. Queen takes. Pawn push. And then long castles. Bishop b2, putting pressure on this diagonal. Knight goes back, clearing the path for that bishop. Pawn comes up. Queen goes to f3. Queens are exchanged off the board and the pawn pushes forward. Rook comes to e1, attacking that pawn. Knight goes over to d5 to defend that pawn. And then bishops are exchanged. King comes up to b2. Rook to c7. Knight comes up. Rook up. Both the rooks are piled up on this file, as you can see. Once the pawns are traded off, then black's rooks will be very active. So white plays e4, knight takes e4, rook takes e4, and a6 is played. Rook c1, and then e6. Wait a minute. Knight f3, king g7, bc4, rook c4, rook takes c4, and rook takes c4. Pawn comes up to c3. Knight goes back. Rook comes to e1, king f6, knight e5, rook goes back because the rook was attacked, that's why. And now king goes to e7, pawn pushes forward. Now the position is looking very equalish and the pieces are just being maneuvered here and there. Here black attacked the pawn, but Magnus Carlsen is aware of that, that's why he pushed the pawn. And now check, king moves over, check again, and like this, after a few moves, as you can see, the pieces are just maneuvered from here and there. There is no such great attack going on. And yeah, this game was very dry and it ended in a draw after a few moves. As you can see, both players are giving check to each other, and after a couple of checks the game will just end in a draw. So this was a very dry game, and the game finishes off here in a draw. Two pawns each, knight each, and rook each. Obviously, after getting everything traded off, the material will be equal, and yeah, it will just become a draw. The evaluation bar also shows it as a equal position. So yeah, Levon Aronian won this section of the freestyle Grand Slam tour, but the overall combined champion is Magnus Carlsen. Congrats to Magnus Carlsen for winning. So yeah, this was the final round recap, guys. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Chesstrovert, and I'm very happy to see you all enjoying my videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye. There is, I think, a dog shouting in the background. That's why you're hearing that sound. Don't mind it, please. Bye.